something struck me yesterday when I was watching Losing Sight of Shore. And you don't, I've done a lot of outdoor sports all my entire life. I have never rowed, but sailed, kayaked, all those water sports. And you don't get to see yourself doing it when you're actually doing it, obviously, because you're inside your own body. And there was a piece of drone footage with just two of the ladies rowing. Obviously, two were in the cabins or wherever they were. And to see how much effort they put in, yet how slowly that boat moves. Like it's that you see them do a stroke and row, and the boat hardly moves, and yet you can see in their physiology that their muscles are strained, and it's almost like a perverse balance of effort versus output, because they put all this effort in and the output is so small, and yet they've got to go again and do another stroke. And there's no choice but to do another stroke, because the next place you meet them is
going back.
Weeks away.
Yeah, I mean, what a good lesson for life. You know, even if they had wanted to turn around, they couldn't have. It's just the fastest way to the other side was through. You know, the fastest way to get home, to overcome whatever challenge they were going through, was just to keep rowing, you know, and that's such a powerful metaphor too. It's like just one foot in front of the other, one stroke, stroke by stroke. And they had this saying on the boat. They had a lot of like philosophies, but one of them was like control the controllable. And I think about that a lot. Like they would had so many challenges, from 4-story waves to tropical storms to, you know, there were plenty of times where they had to get in the cabins and just kind of batten down the hatches and wait out a storm, because physically rowing made no sense, because they weren't going anywhere. They were going backwards, the currents. I mean, there was just challenge after challenge after challenge. And they would just say, control the controllable. Like, okay, what can we do in the next shift, meaning 2 hours? Okay, and then what are we going to do in the next 2 hours? And it's just, what a great lesson of just take the challenge that's right in front of you, and then take the next one and the next one. And before you know it, you will have solved a problem or made progress or gotten some clarity. But it was hard to watch sometimes, even just from the United States on the website, watching them, the numbers, you know, they would sometimes exert themselves the equivalent of like 50 miles in a day, and yet they'd go 9 miles in the wrong direction. Ooh. And that was just heartbreaking to watch. And those were the moments where, you know, I would call up Tony, their shore support, and be like, are they ever going to get there? Like, is that a possibility that they have to be rescued? Like, I just knew nothing, you know? So it just was, to me, I felt like I represented the audience of asking the questions of like, okay, so what happens if one of them gets injured or they capsize? Or my brain just sort of went in 100 directions of all the problems. I'm a producer, you know, so I have to like try to solve problems. And that part of it was really heartbreaking to witness, of just, you know, working. It's like running a marathon and then moving 2 steps forward. How do you make sense of that? And then some days they would make so much progress, and everyone would be like, oh yeah, they got this. They'll be in Australia in like a week. And like their parents would book their flights, and you're like, wait. So it was just maddening. I felt like although again, I was not on the boat, I felt like my whole life was in limbo for those 9 months, because I was told it was going to take 6 months. And since I know nothing, I believed that. And then the journey just kept getting delayed and delayed. And I just remember like saying to my best friend who was getting married, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be at your wedding. Like, this is so important. I have no idea. Like they own me. Like whenever they're in Samoa, I'm going. Like I was just all in, and I did make it to my friend's wedding, but it was just that whole year was just completely in limbo. And I was like, I don't care what else I have going on. I will be there. So at least I didn't have kids yet. So it was easy to be like, they own me, and I will be there in Samoa no matter what.